Welcome. Hit the like button, hit the bell, hit subscribe, share the show. Thank you for listening. This is Joey. Let's get started. Now, by now, I'm sure you have all heard about the tragic case of Toby, blah, whatever his name is. A tragic case of a coon who was killed by his wife or his girlfriend. And so it was a white girl, OnlyFans model, right? Model with air quotes. And he was stabbed to death in Florida. And the white woman will not be getting charged. She was already released. And the case is just going to kind of brush under the rug. And that's where we are. Now, what makes this case so interesting to black people, because white people don't get two shits, they ain't even making the news. What makes this case so interesting to black people is that some tweets had come out from Mr. Toby. And Toby is a Nigerian. Of course, you'll know why in a minute. Some tweets came out about Toby where he had just been going off on black Americans in general and black American women in particular about black Americans, women's behavior in public and on television and how they disgrace themselves, and black American akata, see, they use that word. And I've always said, the same people that pretend to not know what FBA is when it comes to black Americans already have a word like akata for us. So it's completely insincere when they pretend like they don't know what FBA is or who it's about, right? But just a lot of rants, a lot of anti-black American ranting about our supposed behavior as compared to white people and just white worship of white women. I mean, the man went so far to say white women titties are better than black women titties. I was like, damn, that's personal. You can't attack nobody's titties. That's just foul. Like how are titties different? Like how is that? How are black women's breasts different? Like we eat too much chicken or something? Like it was just a weird insult, right? Weird insult. And now you've got this white woman of your dreams. You got that Isis goddess, right? You got that Norse goddess that you said you always wanted. And apparently she's so ghetto that she knifed your ass to death. And then promptly did the white woman move and pulled out the real most diabolical weapon in a white woman's arsenal, which is white woman tears, right? White woman tears are like depleted uranium in society, right? They're super powerful. Whole black towns have been wiped out by one white woman tear, right? So we know how dangerous that shit can be. And now his family is crying foul and they trying to get the black American community to support, and when them tweets got out, right? So we just kind of stayed out of it. But I want to point some things out that I've always thought is interesting. You see, when black people date each other, black celebrities, black influencers, just black people in general, and things go bad, all the dirty laundry come out. And anything that supports a negative black stereotype about black men or black women becomes verified, right? It becomes verified. See, look at her keying up that car. That only black women do that, right? Like there aren't cases of white women doing shit like that. Or the black dude, the baby daddy gets into it with the new boyfriend and some violence goes down. You see, look how violent these black men are. Like as if only black men are violent towards their women. You know, when black men and black women get in relationships and things go bad, particularly when things go violent, it becomes sensationalized and indicative of black pathology. But when black people are in interracial relationships, particularly with white people, it doesn't matter if it's a black man with a white woman or a black woman with a white man or a black gay person with a white gay person. If it goes bad, those details never come out. They're never allowed to come out. It's almost as if the black person was forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement or something, right? Never comes out. Let's take Halle Berry, for example. Now, Halle Berry has been in a number of high-profile relationships with a number of black and white men. We know all about Well, we think we know all about. We don't really know shit, but let's talk about the stories that have gotten out, that Halle Berry's talked on, and that have been allowed to get out. We've heard all about how her relationship with Wesley Snipes was supposedly abusive. And, oh, he hit me so hard I couldn't hear out of my ear and I still have hearing problems. We heard all about David Justice being emotionally abusive and being multiple cases of infidelity and not being faithful to her, because you know how those black men are, right? We've heard all about Eric Benet's sex addiction. And people were wondering, how can you have a sex addiction if you dating Halle Berry, right? But her husband, her white husband, and forgive me, his name escapes me because he was kind of a nobody. I think he was a French dude. The one she had a mixed baby by. When they got documentation of him talking about he doesn't want his daughter to have braids because he doesn't want his baby having that nigger hairstyle and looking like a nigger and calling her all out her name and abusing her, you're not really allowed to talk about that. It's mum's the word. It's real hush hush. Black folks are real hesitant to besmirch the reputations of white people when their interracial relationships go bad. And the media makes great effort to cover those things up when those interracial relationships go bad. Look at Robert De Niro. When Robert De Niro was with his black wife, all we'd ever hear about, man, Bobby D liked the sisters. And it was all good promotion for Robert De Niro. And I like Robert De Niro. But as soon as Robert De Niro dropped his black wife and got himself a white woman again and was cheating on her the whole time, you don't hear shit about how that shit went downhill. You don't hear shit about how that shit went downhill. Clearly, it must have been a rocky relationship if you go from being together to being apart and you instantly got a new woman. That means there was some cheating going on, right? There was some weird shit going on. But you never hear about those things. Even when the white counterpart commits straight up crime or domestic violence. Remember, Ray Rice was made the face of domestic violence in the NFL. He was banned from the NFL. They had all those white women's groups up there, just a women's grouping. And, oh, my God, we're going to get that mean jigaboo. And they got him. They had him on an apology tour like Ruben Studdard. But have any of you guys heard the case of Chad Wheeler? Chad Wheeler, I believe his name is Chad. Chad sounds like a white enough name. Let me just verify this real quick while we on the line. Yeah, Chad Wheeler was an American football offensive tackle for the Seattle Seahawks. And I can personally attest to you that Chad Wheeler displayed no ability of violence towards men on that field. Chad Wheeler was everybody's bitch. He was a screen door for the offensive line. You could walk right on by that nigga and get right to the quarterback, right? I lost a lot of money with the Seahawks thanks to Chad Wheeler's bitch ass, right? He had no strength, no upper body strength. Footwork was bad. Couldn't pick up a tackle. Couldn't pick up a block to save his life. Couldn't pass block. Couldn't help establish the run. Sorry, I'm having a flashback, man. He cost me a lot of money. But the point I'm making is the one hit that Chad Wheeler was able to make was beating the shit out of his black girlfriend one day. Chad Wheeler, one day, and this is all documented, because his girlfriend didn't bow when he came in the room as he was about to eat, he turned around, cockbacked, and hit her so hard that by his own words, he thought she had died right there. She was laid out, knocked out, hit her head on the way down. He thought she had died right there. So, of course, he did the proper thing that any white boyfriend would do, and he sat down and finished his food. Chad Wheeler was brought in for questioning. Chad Wheeler was let go. The NFL never made a story about it. The media never talked about it. Seattle never had a comment on it, and we moved on. He was even able to play the role that he was bipolar or some bullshit, and he got off scot-free. Nobody was made the face of anything. Don't even hear about it. Most people don't even know about it. And that's by design. When these white folks do something bad, that shit gets covered up. The only things that get pointed out are nigger transgressions. And nowhere is it more egregious than in interracial relationships. I've seen multiple interviews with Paula Jai Parker on Vlad TV. Now, for those of you who may not know, Paula Jai Parker is an actress and comedian, very, very talented, very, very pretty. And she's had run-ins, actual incidents with Harvey Weinstein. She's one of the people that could claim Me Too with Harvey Weinstein. She's been to the hotels. But when Vlad directly asked her about her run-ins with Harvey Weinstein and things she may know, she always consistently plays defense for Harvey Weinstein. And what does she do? She redirects the questions to talk about black men in the industry that she's had run-ins with. Even after being quite possibly sexually abused by Harvey Weinstein, she still knows who to be loyal to because she doesn't want to cross white society. Vlad will straight up ask her, hey, so were you in Harvey Weinstein's hotel room? And, oh, yeah, I've been in there. But let me tell you about. Black folks like that understand. You don't get rewarded for speaking on the white folks doing that shit. You get rewarded for defending white society. You don't really get nothing for standing up for black folks like that. She knew exactly what she was doing. I watched multiple interviews of every time Vlad asked her about Harvey Weinstein, she'll switch and start talking about black men. There's a reason why there's a Surviving R. Kelly and a Bill Cosby documentary, but it's mum's the word on Harvey Weinstein and David Geffen and all them real abusers out there. And again, like I said, black man with a white woman, black woman with a white man, black gay person with a white gay person. The white person's always going to win. Look at Ed Buck. Ed Buck got multiple gay black men bodies showing up at his house for the same deaths. Ed Buck got documentation of him talking about enacting all kinds of slave sexual fantasies and calling him his little nigger boys and all that kind of shit. They got torture marks on him and shit like that. Hey, you're free to go, sir. Major donor to the Democratic Party, gay white man, can't do shit, right? LGBTQ groups and clubs have been notorious for being openly racist towards black folks and talking shit about their black gay counterparts, and y'all just sit there and take that shit. Y'all don't say shit. Y'all grumble and complaining about it amongst yourselves, but y'all don't dare say shit out loud because you don't want to make white folks, you don't want to upset white society. Nobody wants to turn over the apple cart. And even when it comes to straight up murder like this, straight up goddamn murder, y'all still don't want to say too much to besmirch, to pour dirt on white people's names. But you'll air a nigga out. This man was sitting back talking about ghetto black woman behavior while harboring an abusive relationship with a white woman the whole time. Even her white friends and his friends are openly saying, yeah, she had a history of abusing him. This is not an isolated incident. This is not an isolated incident. And what should be more concerning to Coons is the fact that, see, you sit there and block that there is no racism shit, and look at God. He'll put you in a situation that's blatant racism. They let that white woman go. She got caught back in the club again. And black women, black American women, let me tell you, quit being so sweet. Y'all so graceful. Black American women, after all the shit he said about you, you got black American women still catching that bitch in the club and calling her out. Let her go. Don't be riding for him. Let that coon die. Let coons die. Y'all forgot about the case of that black woman that was at a sleepover with her white girlfriends. And then the white husband showed up. And she got killed. I don't even think they found the body. Nobody got arrested. The case of that Jamaican coon going out hunting with his white homeboys. They didn't even lie and say, they admitted that they shot him. Yeah, he was acting weird, man. We had to shoot his black ass. Man, you should know good and hell well better than to be out going hunting with your white friends. Come on. Wasn't there an Ice-T movie like that? Where he went hunting with his friends and realized he was the prey? Y'all got to quit pretending that you're white. See, I said before, black society, we're not mature enough, power-wise, to really be dating interracially. The power dynamic is so far off. It's like a minor dating an adult. And mentally, y'all get so giddy and taken aback by the fact that when you date a white person, you feel like you're dating the whole white society because you're not being chased downtown. You're not being chased out of the town with pitchforks and lynching ropes. So you feel like, oh, I'm accepted by white people by being able to date this white person without any backlash. That's immature. These cases are not few and far between. These are not isolated incidents. This happens a lot. These are just the few that make the news. Remember the case of that black woman that she was dating a known KKK member? She was cool with it. So you coon until you coon to death. Then they got into it over something completely unrelated, and she was going to tell his white girlfriend, he killed that bitch. Without a second thought. I don't think he's facing any time. See, and then here's another thing that doesn't get talked about. These sort of incidents never work in reverse. Need I remind you guys of the case of Caitlin Morris? 21-year-old black girl that was dating a white boy. I think she was in Montgomery County. She stabbed him, killed him, same way. Only difference is her ass is in jail. They instantly saw you killed a white man. They looked at that and they said, murder one. Manslaughter at the least. Your ass is going downtown. That shit never works in reverse. None of this shit works. I mean, police brutality don't work when the killer is black and the victim white. Do you remember that African cop that didn't get the memo and shot a white woman out here that walked up on the car? There wasn't no thin blue line protecting his ass. His ass went to jail like a regular person. They had cops in there testify. He did it, Your Honor. He did it. Well, sir, doesn't blue life. Not that blue life. That's a black one. No. Not if you're black and blue. You was on your own. All these rules are made up to maintain a certain outcome. And if those rules don't produce that outcome, white society will just discard those rules momentarily with no sense of irony. They won't even explain it. Ain't nobody going to be driving you to Burger King on the way to prison. Your ass is going straight to jail. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. And you're not getting out. This is not uncommon at all. Oftentimes what they do is they remove the race from the story. There's a white man that killed his black girlfriend and chopped her up with a machete. They just removed, you got to go in and look at the pictures to find out that it's a white boyfriend and a black girlfriend. See, there's a bunch of promotion of this interracial shit to black women. It's overt now. There's actually an article out by some gay black dude that's just openly saying it. You should date these white men. Maybe you become a Supreme Court justice or something. Who knows? Have you seen Something New by Sanaa Lathan? It's a great movie. You should go check it out. Watch Scandal, right? It's just obvious at this point. It's overt. And when they're promoting something to you, they're going to leave out all the nasty little details. Like a lot of these murders that be going down. Like a lot of the domestic violence that be going down. You see, back in the day, the few interracial couples that you would see, just regular people, when you see them on talk shows and stuff like that, the number one complaint from black women was always, yeah, well, I started dating Chad, but Whenever we're around his friends or family, they keep saying racist stuff to me and he won't even stand up for me. That was the common complaint. Now you don't hear that shit no more. They cover all that stuff up. They cover all the abuse up, all the craziness up. And this isn't to say that white people are evil but no, it's to say that when shit goes bad, you don't hear about it, and that's by design. The white person's always going to be made to look good. And this is the outcome you're going to get. If something bad goes down, that white person's not going to get punished. It's not even going to get charged. And it's not even going to be made a story. She was back in the club a couple of days ago. Look at them lesbian white women that killed all them black kids. They had a history, a documented history of abusing them kids. All the white people in the neighborhood got to talking about it afterwards, but they knew the whole time and kept mum. You talk about niggas be believing in stop snitching. White folks can keep a secret amongst each other when the victims are black people. You know how many cases of little black kids being abused and adopted black kids being sexually abused and physically abused in white homes where it's an open secret in the community? It's known. These types of things are not uncommon. Now, I want you to look at the family of this coon. They had the nerve to name that boy Toby. That's crazy. I want you to look at the family of this coon and how they're trying to blacken up now and get support from black society because they realize white folks ain't even going to charge this woman. You see, when there's an officer involved shooting, when there's some sort of racial injustice, black Americans, we got to stand up and force justice, right? How many times have we heard that the DA is not going to charge for this or that? And then black folks start turning up. And, well, you know, on second thought, we are going to go back and review that. Remember, they were trying everything they could to make the Botham Jean case go away. Oh, you know, Amber Geiger, it's so hard being a woman. She just got confused and flummoxed. We'll tell her not to do it again. They were trying to sweep that shit under the rug. Well, maybe Botham Jean wasn't innocent. Well, he did have weed in the house. You know how those niggers... We had to force justice on that one. Y'all was still trying to hug that white woman. Can I hug you? I'm so sorry. Y'all be so scared of making white folk mad. Let it be your black ass. Throw the book at that nigger. They be going hard. We're going to make him the face of... They be going in. And also what I want to point out, and I've said this time and time again, right? Be you a black male, a black female, straight or gay. If you like dating white people, if you prefer access to white society over black people and all that stuff, that's your own prerogative. But can you do black people this one solid and shut the entire fuck up? Just shut the fuck up and go date your white woman and leave black women the fuck alone. Right? Leave black women the fuck alone. Go divest and leave Tyrone and Jamal be and quit over here fucking talking to us if that's what you're into. And don't do no corny shit, black women who date white men, divestors. Don't do no corny shit. See, black women who date white men will do some corny shit like talking shit about black men, talking about how we ain't shit. Get with that white man. That white man dog you out, disrespect you, and beat your ass. And then you turn around talking about, I'm an unprotected black woman. These black men don't protect me. Man, shut the fuck up. All you niggas out here talking about bad about black women, because let's keep it real, 9 times out of 9, you're the type of black dude that you know black women don't really want to date, right? Let's just keep it real. That's why I never understand when black women get mad when they see a corny ass black dude with a white woman. You're like, you know good and hell well you would not be checking for that nigga if he was single. If this nigga was at the HBCUs trying to stomp the yard, y'all be like, look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Y'all be clowning that dude. So y'all know you don't care he date that white woman. There's charity for him. Just let him be happy. if he could just date his white woman and shut the fuck up. But no, this nigga just randomly making tweets. I don't like black women. I do not like Akata women. I do not. Nigga, didn't nobody ask who you liked? Just date your white woman. Every time you see an angry black gay attacking black society and shit, all you gotta do is click on that nigga or that girl's profile, and there they are with their white boo. Go be happy over on that side where you say the grass is greener. Because to be honest with you, you look like a weirdo still talking about us when you're supposed to be over there happy. It don't even got to be a black or white thing. Say you break up with your girl and you get a new girl, but all you do, every picture you post with your new girl and shit, yeah, I bet my old bitch hella jealous. Yeah, she's way better than my old one. Yeah, fuck my ex. Yeah, Shalika, I know you see this. I know this make you mad. At some point, don't you think your new girl's going to be like, hey, nigga, you're dating me now. Why you keep talking about her? Why you keep posting shit for her? Are you dating her through me? You're going to lose your new girl. Same with a lot of black women who finally get a white dude. And y'all be acting like y'all really use the term divest like this is Israel, right? Like you boycotting, divesting, and sanctioning the black dick. Like get out of here. You're just not dating niggas no more. You could just not date a nigga. But once you stop dating niggas, you can't talk about niggas no more because niggas are no longer your problem. How are you still talking about niggas and how much you can't stand niggas when you don't even stand next to a nigga no more? Deal with Chad. You waking up in the morning and Chad done left his clothes in the front of the bed like how all guys do. Oh, shit. That's why I can't stand niggas. Like, honey, what's wrong? What did black guys do today? I mean, you left your clothes on the ground. Yeah, I did that. Why are you know how confusing that got to be for the white dude? Like, damn, you still talking about these niggas? If you're going to go date white society, go date white society. I know black women who have white boyfriends or white husbands, and they just have white boyfriends or white husbands. They don't have animosity towards black men. Usually you ask them how they met their mate or whatever. It's some sweet story about that person. Oh, I met Jason at the such and such college. We hit it off because we both like so-and-so, and we got to talking and had real good conversation, and I fell in love. That's beautiful. I don't care if it's a white person. That's beautiful. Hey, man, how'd you meet Susie? Oh, man, well, I'm a farmer, man. And she, her family's a family of farmers. And we started sharing a lot of information. And we opened up a farm together. And we got kids. That's beautiful, bro. Good. But then you talk to those ones. Then you start asking them how they met the so-and-so. They go right into the problems they've had with black men or black women. No, nigga. Focus on the good relationship you do have. Do you date that white person because you like that white person or because you want to be accepted by white people? And then when you're in an abusive relationship with that white person, when you're in a toxic relationship with that white person, you're too embarrassed to admit that maybe it's who you choose as a mate. You're too embarrassed to admit that maybe you're messed up. So you keep all the ills of that interracial relationship under wraps. Chad whooping your ass just like Tyrone would. But if you start talking about how Chad's fucked up too, now you can't blame black society. Now you can't blame black men. You get with Katie, and Katie cheat on your ass just like you said Shaniqua would. Katie's up in the club twerking her flat ass just like a black woman would twerk her ass up in the club. She done left you. She done left you for another black guy. Right? She done cussed you out. All the shit that you said only black women do, you can't go back and admit that to niggas because now the common denominator is yo ass. So you keep that shit under wraps. Both of y'all do that corny shit. Gays, black gays, you guys are by far the worst. Male and female. You guys are by far the worst. Y'all be literal slaves to white people in y'all relationships. Y'all literally be on some sex and sadomasochist shit that clearly comes from slavery. And you know how you know it comes from slavery, because you gays are the ones that wrote slave play. You ain't got no dignity. Black gays be some of the biggest coons in the universe. Like, it'd be black gays and Nigerians neck and neck every time. Y'all keep that shit under wraps. And what you're starting to see is these stories are starting to bubble and boil over to where they can't be covered up no more. All you red pill niggas is real quiet about this story. The manosphere shook. Manosphere's raising the coon flag at half staff today for Toby. When that black girl got killed at that sleepover by them white men, the divestment community real quiet. Talk about these stories like you talk about your Prince Harrys and shit. Because y'all want to paint a narrative that shit's all sweet, but shit ain't all sweet. And again, this isn't to denigrate anybody who has a white boyfriend or a white girlfriend or a white husband or a white wife, whatever. Live your life, but shut the fuck up about it. Just date the person that you're dating. Really, it's insulting to the person you're dating. You still talking about the niggas you don't even date no more. I've said it before and I've said it again. Black people who date interracially are the only group of people that talk shit about their own race. You see Asian women with white men all the time. All the time. But you don't never see Asian women talking shit about Asian men. You don't never see the white men that date Asian women talking shit about white women. You don't ever see the Hispanic people that date white people talking shit about their own race. The only people that date outside their race and then talk shit about their race are black people. And it'd be totally unprovoked. Like, think about it. If you look at Toby's tweets, if you look at his coon quotes, you'll notice that they're not in response to anything. They're on Twitter. You know, Twitter's a place where something happens and people reply and put comments, or it's a topic of the day type of thing. None of that was happening. It was like those memes where people say, no one said anything. And then someone just blurted this out. No one was talking to him about black women versus white women. There was no topic of the day. That nigga just woke up one morning, logged into his Twitter account, and was just like, I do not like black women like Katas. I like white women. Like, nigga, nobody asked you who you liked. Ain't nobody checking for you, nigga. You ain't the world's most eligible bachelor, and people are like, so who's on your mind today? Who's Toby thinking about being with? Nobody was saying that shit. So what kind of weird coon virtue signaling is that? Somebody please explain that to me. It's a weird coon algorithm you guys are trying to drum up. And that's what makes you not like. And then they turn around and go, oh, well, y'all just jealous because I'm in this. No, nigga, we wouldn't even have known. We would have seen you in a picture with a white woman, wouldn't even said nothing. But you got to keep coming out here talking shit. For what? You was talking about how black women was so ghetto and this and that the whole time that white woman was whooping your ass. You got to shower up and look at marks on your body in the mirror and shit and be like, I'm just trying to be the bigger person. I'm a gentleman. Right? You crying yourself to sleep every night, curled up in the fetal position because she's whooping your ass because you didn't bring her lemonade that was cold enough. And then you wake up in the morning and type some shit about black American women. You guys got to quit fucking for green cards, man. That shit's pathetic. It's pathetic. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not spending too much time on no coons. You know, I know we're supposed to say we don't celebrate when something bad happens to anybody, you know, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But I'm not shedding no tears either. I'm not wasting no time on them. But I do want to point out this trend to where black folks who date white people, they advertise it. I said it before. Black folks who date white people act like they're in the post-game interview for an NBA playoff game, right? Like they're sitting at the table letting you know, yeah, I ain't dating these white, I ain't dating these black women no more, man. I'm free. I'm gonna get me a white woman. The black women are even more egregious, right? Yeah, I'm divesting, right? Like you sold all your stock in nigga.com. Like get out of here. And then when something happens, we see you with a busted lip or some shit. Shaquita, what happened to you, girl? You and Chad okay? Yeah, we fine, girl. We fine. I fell. We were playing tennis and I fell. You know, it was love nothing. He won. Nigga knocked your ass out. Tooth missing and shit. But you got to cover up for him. That shit's weird. Signing out.